Chapter 1. I'm going to confess that this here was not how I had seen the night going. Trapped in a dark and, might I add, stinky alley. Surrounded by bloodsuckers. 2 packmates in wolf form passed out against the wheel of a truck, not clear whether they were living or dead. The rest of our ragtag crew had already skedaddled, frantic to make it home so they could lick their wounds before they passed out. And the tall, fierce vampire responsible for fully half of the pummeling we'd taken still looked fit as a fiddle as he stalked toward me. His long black hair blew behind him while he swiped his hands on his shirt to remove shifter entrails, spit on the ground to ensure that the blood in his mouth wouldn't get absorbed into his system, and glared at me furiously. "Ralph, don't." Scariest of them all growled at the bloodsucker that had me pinned against the rough brick. Blood oozed out the sides of my neck and both wrists in a steady flow, a puddle already forming around my feet, my heart finally, blessedly slowing. Pinning me to the wall, vampire, the one he called Ralph, held both of my wrists above my head with one hand and had just moved his free hand to my belly, claws at the ready, when the order to stop registered. He looked back over his shoulder, but didn't release me. Not that I could have gotten away, even if he had loosened his grip. There were 7 of them, and 1 of me. Plus, they were bigger, stronger, older. I chuckled at the last thought. They were immortal. Of course they were older. Ralph jerked his head back and scowled as he shook me. "You think this is funny? Are you laughing, dog?" He spat the last word. My head flopped from side to side, my neck feeling limp as a cooked noodle. I felt almost good. I mean, I was bleeding like a stuck pig and dying and all, but dang, everything inside was looser, easier, like I'd been suffocating all my life and finally had room to breathe. "You are," he said incredulously. "He is," he repeated for the benefit of the other vampires. He was using the same volume level, so I wasn't sure why it was necessary, but whatever. I shrugged, or at least I tried to shrug. I definitely shrugged in my mind. Could shrugs be mental? "Glad you think it's funny because it's the last thing you're ever going to feel." He pressed his claws against my belly, cutting through my shirt and just piercing my skin. "Say goodbye, doggy." "Ralph!" the vampire with the long black hair shouted. I wondered if his eyes were the same color as his hair. Mine were. The same color as his hair, I mean. Not the same color as mine. My hair was brown, but my eyes were black. Black as night. Black as coal. Black as... "1 more inch, and I'll rip your head off myself." Fiercer than them all, Bloodsucker yelled at Ralph. "Step away from him." Ralph shook me one last time and then let me go. I slumped against the wall, barely able to stay on my feet. I wondered whether that was what being drunk felt like. I'd never been drunk. Maybe I should have tried it. Oh well. Pretty soon it wouldn't matter none anyhow. Nothing would matter ever again. "Fine. You want the kill, Miguel? He's yours," Ralph said, and then he spit at me. It landed on my leg, I think, but there was so much blood it was nigh on impossible to tell. I don't need any more of their poison on me anyway. From the corner of my eye, I could see my previously prone packmates moving. They were alive, with the bloodsuckers staring at their comrade approaching his next victim. That was me, in case it wasn't clear. Harold and George were able to drag themselves away. Good. I turned my attention back to the threat/salvation at hand. Coming at me in slow, steady footsteps was Miguel, the scary vampire who had maimed most of my packmates and was apparently gunning to add me to his accomplishment tally. The one with the gorgeous long black hair and the... Wait, gorgeous? How much blood had I lost? Enough that death was imminent, not that I minded. That was, after all, the whole reason I had agreed to go on the vampire eradication mission with the other males my age. Hell, it was the reason they had, for the first time since we were toddlers, let me join them for anything. An unarmed shifter who couldn't shift wouldn't survive a confrontation with a coven of bloodsuckers. We all knew that going in. The others were there to defend the pack.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.